Hey, Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here, and are you ready to get our national parks on? Oh my god, dude, we are playing Cleopatra. We have set ourselves up for the most powerful episode in civilization history. My arms are above my head and I am flexing. Morbus, get a Shutterstock image of a man doing that, okay? Looking powerful, or a woman, whoever, doesn't matter, just someone looking powerful, because I am in the zone right now, baby. We are going to turn this empire into a tourism monster. Look at all of these national parks that we have. Look at all of this potential. There's so much potential here. And then the follow-up, the very, very natural follow-up to these national parks will be these rock bands. They are just around the corner. It's all going to start happening here. This tourism will explode, and you're welcome to come along for the journey. First things first, we got away for Reformed Church. We did just get Grandmaster's Chapel, so we can faith by units, which does mean we're a little bit more secure. We also need to start considering our sanctuaries. I'm going to go around my empire and start building my sanctuaries, and I'm going to have to start mapping out how long it's going to take me to get them all. Like, for example, in Memphis, that's 44 turns. I'm going to buy that one. That just takes way too long. Boom, I buy it, and now all this extra gold, all this extra science, all this extra production is going to help me help my other cities, because now this city can take on the burden of making more builders. It can take on the burden of making more spies, right? This lifts the burden off my other cities by injecting gold into the city, and so I'm going to get some builders so I can start to improve my national parks. I'm going to go ahead and grab Victor, and I just want Victor for the housing and amenities. I'm going to slap him into what would be a good city. I think Akhetaten could be a good city for him. I'm feeling really good. I can't remember if I'm on 9 or 10 cities, but I know I'm on a good amount of cities. We did just research ballistics, which will get us first era, and here comes theocracy. Okay, we slap in theocracy. Newly gained builders get +2 charges. I'm in. I love it. That's what I want. What else do we want to plug in here? Monarchic legacy. Ooh, Republican legacy or monarchic legacy. Monarchic legacy just seems like really damn good. So much housing, but I think I would rather have the amenities. The amenities are a little bit better. This is like so much Diplo favor though. It's kind of hard to ignore. Maybe I can get a Forbidden City or figure that out. Maybe I can use that card later. At the very least, I do have that card that I can use later on, maybe when it's a little bit more useful. I need another card. You know, +9 production at this phase of the game. That's pretty good. So we have conservation, we have Reformed Church. Now we just need to get to Cold War. So I'm going to just click on ideology, because the order in which we get those civics doesn't really matter. This is a 24 turn sanctuary. This is totally in the realm of doability. So I will hard build that. It takes a very long time, but hey, listen, that's the way the cookie crumbles. 24 turns in Akhetaten as well. That's what I would consider to be anything around 20-ish turns. I think is totally buildable. Some of these cities might not hit that level. Like for example here, 34 turns, that has to be purchased. 40 turns in Thebes, that'll have to be purchased. 40 turns in Sena, that'll have to be purchased. So we got a little bit of figuring out to do. But what else we got to do is to start purchasing all of our naturalists. Every single city in my empire is probably getting a naturalist here. And just look at that. This is magic. To go through and spend thousands. Why can't I build it here? There we go. Thousands upon thousands of faith in a single turn on all of the naturalists. I don't think I can even afford anymore. How many naturalists did I just buy? Dude, I just bought 9 naturalists in a single turn. I don't even know how much faith I spent. That is insanity. It's insane. I totally forgot to plug in the appeal mod, the one that shows you the correct appeal. Okay, so we need to do a little bit of tile swapping. I would like this one to be in here. Go ahead and do that one. You, of course, yep, this one looks perfect. So I'll set up this national park. There's +4 era score. Boom, 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 boom. We're looking great. Akhetaten, I'm going to go ahead and give you this sector of ground for now, and I'll pop a national park right there. Feels good. Boom, 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 boom. And then I can swap those tiles back to the capital, because we'll get more yields in the capital from them, because it has the Etamananki, and these will get boosted by the Etamananki. Forest and a little forest. This needs to all be owned by Akhetaten. Swap and swap. And then we will move you over to there. Perfect. You can go ahead and get this one up already. Ooh. So we were making like 38 tourism per turn at the start of this turn. By the end of this turn, I don't even know where we'll be. Somewhere incomprehensible in terms of tourism. It's gonna be nuts. Boom, and yet another. Like, we just got so much era score, it's actually ridiculous. I'm really curious to see what our tourism becomes, because it's 38 now, and we just built all, oh my god, 150 tourism. That is such a huge jump. That is an insane jump. All right, let's keep designating the national parks. Boom, 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 boom. We're looking good. We're very happy with this. Another national park. And I can even buy another naturalist here, I think, in a turn. Boom, national park again. Already, you can see how many pins I've cleaned up so quickly here. And the fact that my amenity situation has just skyrocketed. Am I even purchasing luxuries? I am. But 5 of my cities are now ecstatic, which is beautiful. So there's the Enlightenment. Not that we need that. Let's have a look. We've got a builder over here, so we could do a little bit of work with you. Let's go ahead and get the sanctuary up. You're not going to build a sanctuary. I'll buy the sanctuary in there. It's time to take liberalism for yet more amenities. That'll be a nice little boost to our, now we got 9 out of 9 cities. 9 cities are ecstatic. Right, we'll go ahead and swap this tile in Memphis, delete that, build a national park, and then I guess we can come in here and say, Apu, this is yours. You can take that back. Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh war, we are feeling good. Up to 237 tourism already. Oh my god, Menelik, what are you doing? He's up to 108 tourism, so I just outstripped Menelik. How does he have so many tourists? 17? 21 on Zhao? Jeez. I think it's also time that we looked into perhaps buying Great Works, so I'm going to sell off some resources, sell off a little bit of Diplo favor because I got so much in the bank. I'll sell them off by the 100 so that we can secure hundreds of gold. And then we can turn around and sell that gold for Great Works of Writing in particular. I'm very concerned about getting my hands on. I have room for 4. And so I will purchase the 4 cheapest ones that I can get my hands on. 2, 3, and 4 Great Works of Writing. In terms of my art museums, I would like to maybe buy some art. That would be quite nice. So let's have a look. We got enough portraits. No portraits. Any landscapes? No landscapes. What about relics? No. Music? No. Artifacts? Sculptures? Okay, looks like no one wants to sell me those. Unfortunate. Oh, right. I have archaeological museums, not art museums. Need to be careful about that. It's an easy mistake to make. Let's go ahead and buy the sanctuary in here. Foosh. Oh my god, look at these tile yields, my dude. Look at this. It is absurd. It's insanely absurd. It's beautiful. Truly, 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 truly beautiful. I've never had an empire look like this before, I think. I don't think I have. All right, 15 population city, so we get +1 envoy. Then we come down here, we got our ancient walls. Let's get the medieval walls, and we'll get the medieval walls in here as well. Ancient walls in Thebes, we just got their growth. This place could actually use a builder, but it's kind of expensive to produce a builder. I don't want to produce the sanctuary. Let's just get to work on the ancient walls. We'll eventually get around to that. You, my good sir, you are planting forests to continue to pump the appeal. I will put a sphinx right there because that's worth 4 tourism. And it's almost time to buy yet another naturalist. We're on the verge. We've got quite a few spots left where naturalists will apply their work quite effectively. There's a nationalist. We'll pop this down right there. Let's go ahead and make sure we swap that, and boom. We definitely want to get Reina into the city. We also need to go fix this situation up here to the north. We got Renaissance walls in Sena, which is perfect. I'm not going to build a sanctuary. I'm going to go ahead and build a builder in here, and I guess I'll grab Magnus purely just for the amenities and housing, because the positive amenities would be really nice. I'll go ahead and drop a Sphinx right here. We're up to 300 tourism. What a transition, my friends. What a insane transition. Let's go ahead and get a national park. +3 right there. Boom, 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 boom. And let's get to work on this one. Where else do we need to go? Where else do we need to go? I think we're good essentially on builder charges. I'm not seeing, let's actually for once, let's use the builder lens to try to find tiles that might need to be improved. God, Menelik actually just got like such a huge empire, and that's why he has so much culture. And his culture level is genuinely a problem, because theoretically we should be easily able to win this game, but because he ran away with the game, it's going to be a problem. So we might have to turn our guns to him in the late game in order to crack him out of his Titan shell. Let's harvest here to get this sanctuary a little bit quicker. And I'm going to drop a Sphinx on the edge of this national park because I want to try and get the appeal up another step in here. Every single shred, drip, ounce of appeal that we can fit into our tiles, that is a massive boost to the rate at which we can win this game. So I hope you understand why I'm focusing so much on just going into such a detail to maximize the appeal on every single possible tile. Okay, Renaissance walls are coming up in a bunch of cities, which is fantastic. I'm going to come into Thebes and I'm going to buy a builder to give the city a kickstart. I'm going to grab Amani and appoint her into Sena purely just for the amenities. We just want the amenities and the housing. I'm going to go ahead and take public works for extra builder charges. I'm kind of sad. I just bought a 3 charge builder by accident. Feels bad, man. Feels really bad. All right, Sphinx down here. Go ahead and get that plantation as well. My sanctuaries are just about to come online in 3 cities. We're on the verge. Boom, plantation, we love it. It would be nice to have spies. I think we would like to get more archaeological museums now, so I'm going to prioritize that. My production still isn't amazing in these cities, but my growth is still like supercharged. Every single tile of my empire has that riz, has that drip, as the Yumfellas say today. Could be good to get a water park. There is some tourism in there. Also neighborhoods. There's some tourism in neighborhoods. It's a way to turn, neighborhood scale off of appeal, especially when it comes to public transport. So that seems like an appealing option for me. God, his empire is just so incomprehensibly huge. It's going to be a problem only nukes can solve, I'm afraid. Everyone else seems to be on like if we take a look at the other civs in the game that haven't completely run away with the game, I'm actually kind of on par with them. Like, I'm ahead of Harold, but I'm behind of Zhao. I'm ahead of, like, you know, I'm kind of middle of the pack here, I feel like, until you encounter the absolute insanity that is Menelik. Venice is under siege. I don't like that. If I take suzerainty, will that kick people out? Oh, wow. I think I just wasted an awful lot of envoys because this city-state might be dead, boys. We got the sanctuary in the capital, and now the tiles are starting to look real good in here. We have the Theatre Square, Government Plaza, Diplomatic Quarter. We want to get the consulate, and we want to get the chancery here if we can. So the next thing is to get the Eiffel Tower. If we can yoink the Eiffel Tower, it would be amazing. I don't think there's anyone really up there on the tech tree with me on the Eiffel. Let me go through my cities and make sure everywhere has Renaissance walls, because I'm researching steel, which means I won't be able to build them. I need to get them in my capital. Right. So I have to prioritize getting my walls up in my capital. And where else? That looks like it's it. Grant. Moderate flood. We love to see that. Damage all these units, but not the city. We shall grab ourselves medieval walls in the capital now. We're finally getting around to improving our fish. Right, perfect. We have access to neighborhoods, and I would say that neighborhoods are theoretically better than some of the empty tiles that I have in my empire. So at least some of the time we will be replacing those. I'm replacing some of my tiles with neighborhood tiles. It'd be nice to get shopping malls, but I think we want to rush to rock bands to start hitting out with rock bands. Renaissance walls has been pumped. In Thebes, we just need to get the sanctuary and potentially get a harbour for trade routes, and that's really all we need. We just need a few extra trade routes here so we can start trading with all the players in the game. Okay, yet more units just appeared around Venice. I don't know if I can actually save Venice here. There's very little I can do. Another sanctuary just came up, so it's time to place the harbour, I guess, like so. Up here, I'm going to go ahead and buy another sanctuary. Boom. Incredible tiles. It might actually be better to unimprove this tobacco for yields. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to come back down here and unimprove this tobacco so I can get these sick as hell yields, because the preserve only applies its bonus yields from like the grove and the sanctuary. By the way, did I even explain how these buildings work, by the way? The grove gives +1 food and +1 faith to adjacent tiles with 2 or higher appeal, and it gives 2 food, 2 faith, and 2 culture if they're breathtaking. And similarly, the sanctuary does the same, but for science gold and then science gold in production. So they're really good if you have unimproved high appeal tiles adjacent to those districts. It is sick as hell if you can pull that off. I can buy more great works of writing, which I absolutely will be doing, because I need to squeeze every little ounce of culture out of my empire that I can nab. Having a look at options here, none of these really stand out to me when it comes to taking suzerainty of some city-states. Geneva is okay. It means I get to like radio and computers faster if I have Geneva. But do I want to fight for Geneva? Not really. I mean, I'll try to take Geneva, but I don't care if I lose it. It's not mission critical, basically. Renaissance walls just got laid down. Feeling good about that. Now we can finally get the consulate. Fabulous. We got the archaeological museum here in Akhetaten, so we want to get our archaeologist. Speaking of archaeologists, did I forget to build one in my capital? I did. I'm going to prioritize that because that's tourism income, and tourism is everything to me right now. We're up to 29 tourists out of 302. I would say that we're on the pathway to victory. We are on the road. We've entered the off-ramp or the on-ramp, depending on your perspective, towards winning the game. Let's get our theatre squares, super late theatre squares. I think this build might actually be more effective if you chop out all of your theatre squares and a couple of wonders and then backfill for preserves later on in the game after you rush to conservation. I think it might be more effective that way. I'm kind of interested. I almost want to run this save file again. Would that be insanity if I ran this save file again, but I did a completely different strategy? I just load up turn 1. Maybe there's like a little bit of novelty in that. So if I unimprove this tobacco, boom, my tile gets so much better. From this to this. It's just gotta be. I almost wish there was like an exemption to the grove for like farms and plantations over luxury resources. But there's the Eiffel Tower and +1 production to lumber mills. The +1 production to lumber mills is nice, but not the most important part. We're going to be switching over in our capital to the Eiffel Tower. It's going to be our priority. And we're going to come back in here and we're going to take every single tile that has a shred, and I mean a shred of production on it. And we're going to tell the city to get this faster because we needed to get it in 32 turns is a totally reasonable amount of time. But I still want to get a great engineer, if at all possible. If I could get Filippo Brunelleschi to secure the Eiffel Tower, it would be amazing. I don't even know if anyone's building it. No, I'm the only one building it, but it's going to take me 30 turns, which is a hell of a long time. But now that we have steel, we can basically rush to computers. We just need computers now for the 25% tourism boost across our empire. We can go ahead and rush it. Amphitheatre in here, which means we can buy 2 more great works. I think I want a couple of art museums. I'm not getting any art really, but I can always buy some art. So I think it is a good idea to have a mixture. I'll sell off some origins. I can buy 2 more great works of writing. And we're slowly filling up this. 32 tourism from that. Not bad. About 10% of our tourism is coming from there. Boom. Another Sphinx. I feel like the big problem I have right now is I actually got really bad land for this strategy. If this lake wasn't here and I had a little bit more room and if there was a little bit less water here, like the problem is literally if this lake isn't here and I can forward settle in this direction, like a little bit easier towards Ethiopia, I could have maybe gotten 2, 3, 4 more cities, and that's like 5 to 8 more national parks. So we're trying to cram a very hard strategy into a very small amount of land. And to be honest with you, it's kind of working. And it really shouldn't be. It really shouldn't be working. All right, time to do a vibe check, aka get open borders with everybody on the map. Critically important because remember, this is a 25% tourism boost against each individual player on the map. Which means if we get open borders with every single player, it's a 25% tourism boost just across the board. And you'll be hard pressed to find anyone who is like, hey, if you made €100, would you like to make 125? Or you made $100, do you want to make $125? Do you know what I mean? You know, if America decided to name its money in the same way the European Union did, what would you call that money? United? Like, because we have the European Union, right? And the United States of America. So would you call it like Ameris? That'll cost you 50 Ameris, dude. Theatre Square in Swenet, feeling good. I think we go for the amphitheatre now. Sena, also Theatre Square. Amphitheatre goes up next. We can continue to buy great works of writing. Archaeological Museum in Memphis. We could almost buy one next turn, but I think I will buy it next turn. And to that end, I would rather start work on then like a harbour in here so I can get more trade routes. Because again, I need at least 7 trade routes this game because there's 7 other players and I want to have a trade route with every single one of them to maximise the amount of tourism that I can get. Moderate flood, all right. Research completed. I'm also going to go ahead and take Pingala and I want to go up to the curator promotion now so that I can get extra tourism from the great works in my capital. There's the lighthouse coming up in Thebes. There's also a national park here, I believe, if we can manage it. I'm going to go ahead and, well, I would rather purchase the archaeologist here first, but I would like a little bit more cash if I could get it to buy a worker over in Thebes so I can finish this city. Industrial era ends in 2 turns. We are definitely getting a sick as hell golden age. And this might be the wish you were here golden age in the modern era. That might actually be super based. Do you need wonders to trigger that? I don't actually remember. We got the lighthouse in Apu. Let's get mass production. Shipyards might help our production a little bit here in this game. Then I need to have a little bit of a think about my lighthouses. I've got a city centre harbour, no theatre square in here. I'll pop a theatre square at the end of the island there. It'll take 24 turns, but it will eventually be useful. That's the important thing. Eventually it will be useful. I'm hearing a lot of wars get declared. There must be some massive giga war that just spawned. Let me have a look. Okay, big war. It looks like a lot of city-states changed hands. Yeah, I think a lot of these city-states are now in a state of warfare. Venice got murked, sadly. So amphitheatre is coming. I think we'll get an art museum in here. We want a mixture of everything. You never want to just get one thing. It's optimal to get a mixture. I would say at a minimum you want 3 art museums because with trading and careful consideration, you can definitely guarantee a oh no, we don't have Wish You Were Here. That's next era that you get that. Shit. Well, I guess I'll take Hicks on Dracones. I'm going to add this proposal, but I won't vote on it because I don't want to go to war with Menelik. Menelik's army is actually insane right now. Oh, I want to purchase Gustav Eiffel if I can and build the Eiffel Tower. I will submit a proposal of Montezuma getting a world emergency thing. And I'm also going to come in here and purchase Gustav Eiffel. Perfect, +3 era score, feels good. A huge expenditure of faith, but I think it's worth it to get the Eiffel Tower faster because think of this. The Eiffel Tower is +8 tourism on every single one of my national parks. Like if I look at the appeal map mode, this is a 6 appeal tile. Now obviously that's not perfect because I think mountains can never go above 4 appeal. That's just what they are at. And by the way, for this entire series, I've had the bunny rabbit out. She has been allowed free roam and access to the room, and honestly, she's been way more chill. Which has been an absolute godsend for me because lately, man, she has just been like, she has had a bee up her asshole. Every time I start recording, she gets mad. She starts like attacking things, trying to be destructive. It's like she doesn't want me to have a career anymore. World's Fair, and none of this really matters, I don't think. I guess we could technically go for a Diplo win, but it's not how I want to win. I want to win by tourism. I know you can't always get what you want. Yeah, I don't really care how any of this stuff went. World's Fair, great people points. We might not win that. Let's go ahead and harvest here. That'll finish the lighthouse. Oh, right. I forgot to buy the sanctuary there. Sell off some of that Diplo favor. Come in here, purchase the sanctuary, and we've got ourselves a very nice thing. Now, it is only 2 tiles here that are getting like buffed, but still, that's enough. We'll also grab ourselves a naturalist because there is a national park right here. There's also a naturalist here. Filippo, I want you to go to this tile and build the Eiffel Tower. Oh my God, look at that. He practically finished the feckin' thing. Honestly, it wouldn't be bad to get the Casa de Contratación. I don't know how to say it. We definitely would like a theatre square in this city. It's not necessary. I could put it there. It's a totally reasonable place. Theatre squares do buff adjacent tiles for +1 appeal, so it's like putting a forest there. Yeah, let's get the shipyard and then we'll go for the theatre square. Sounds good to me. And we'll finally take curator on Pingala, which means we want to fill out Rakadet's archaeological museum if we can. So I'm probably going to try to get cash in hand to buy the archaeologist for this city if we can. Military research here, 18 science doesn't sound like much, but it actually helps out a lot. We don't need limes anymore. I've got liberalism. We don't need much of anything anymore. We've like hit our late game stride. It's all about just maintaining momentum. We probably don't even really need public works. I'm probably going to take it out in the next government, like after ideology. I just need to check. And I would say looking around my empire, if I click on a builder, there's not a whole lot of unimproved tiles that I want to improve. So yeah, I mean, maybe up here a little bit. So I think after my next government, we'll get rid of the builder card and plug something a little bit more useful in. We are 1 turn away from the Eiffel Tower. We're going to go from like 400 tourism to like maybe 500. I actually don't know. It could be higher than that. It depends on how good the Eiffel Tower really is. I know we went to 400 just there. I think we could potentially hit that number. I think we could hit 500 here very comfortably, possibly even 600 depending on how things shake out. Right, Eiffel Tower finishes, +2 appeal on every single tile in our civilization. Must be built on flatlands adjacent to the city centre. What a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful wonder. Look at this wonder movie. Isn't it gorgeous? Bam, we finish it, we get flight. And how do I refresh this? 516 tourism per turn. That is extremely based. We are now currently in the lead for a culture victory. We're getting a tourist on average every 3 turns from every civ, which is pretty damn good. We do need that number to continue to increase, but we're not too far away from picking up stuff like environmentalism, and we are consistently improving our culture, especially by building these buildings. I have a great engineer with no job. I'll just put him to sleep there. He's fine. So I'd like to trade with Oslo. No, I've already traded with Oslo and we can't reach Cumbra. I think it's because we haven't revealed this piece of terrain here. Let me see. Do I have a unit nearby? I have a warrior. I'm going to get the warrior to jump into the water here and reveal this. This trader instead will just look for good money by trading with Ethiopia, because he's the guy I need to generate the most pressure against. So I need to get the plus 25% tourism pressure against him. There's some really key cards we need to pick up now. We would definitely like to be able to build shopping malls when we run out of things to do in our empire. So I will stop offer those in the near future. Otherwise, we need to get the social media for the 50% tourism output to civilizations that I have a trade route with. We want environmentalism for the 25% tourism across our entire empire. That applies to base tourism, so then it gets further multiplied. To put in perspective how this works, let's say I have a trade route with somebody, and let's say I'm generating 1,000 tourism. And before any modifiers are applied, okay, my tiles, before improvements, they generate 1,000 tourism. That means I'm sending 1,000 tourism to Menelik. If I plug in the online communities, that's an extra 50%. So now I'm sending 1,500 to Menelik. How environmentalism works is it applies before that multiplier. So my 1,000 tourism would become 1,200 tourism, and then that gets multiplied by 50%. So these two things actually multiply together to give you a massive late game exponential increase in your tourism output. That's why they're so important. And the computers tech over here also stacks with that, as does And then from flight, you get a lot of flat tourism, which is really, really nice. So hopefully that little brief explanation gives you an idea of why your tourism in the late game tends to go a little bit crazier. Okay, we finally have the cash to be able to pop into our capital and get another archaeologist. We're feeling good about that. We got the art museum here in Sena. Preserve Theatre Square. The only thing we're missing is a trade route. So we're going to go ahead and get that. And speaking of trade routes, let's come into Shadeth and buy our trade routes. I can't afford them. Well, I can definitely afford some more naturalists, so we definitely need to keep filling those out. We circumnavigated the world for 3 era score. That's quite good. I would like to get a golden age for the next era, if at all possible. That would be a game-winning golden age, I think. So we just got industrialization, but it doesn't hold much in the way of importance for us in this particular game. We essentially have everything that we need. I got the consulate in my capital. I'd like to get the chancery now. The chancery will give us +3 influence per turns, which means we get more envoys, and it'll also give us +3 science and +3 culture because we have high suzerainties with some of these city-states. Never went for kill with this game. It could have been a viable kill with game. Decided against it. I actually prefer this configuration. So there's a national park right there, and we'll try to get another national park down here in a moment. But we're running out. We've only got 3 more spots for national parks, and we still have an insane amount of faith to burn through. So I think we just got ideology. We haven't built any spies. I just deprioritized spies this game. Did not make them a priority, and I think it was a reasonable thing to do. I could go for Raj. I like the idea of gunboat diplomacy, although I don't really scale very well off of that. Maybe it would be better if I just took raw gold. Although Machiavellianism might be a good spy transition, because now I can be like, okay, I've hit my late game, now I can get my spies and start getting value out of them. Maybe that's the transition I do here. I don't think it's a bad move. I don't necessarily think it's the greatest move in human history, but it's also, it's most moves you have to make in life, they just have to be not bad moves and you'll be fine. Unironically, make an alright move. Most of the time, you'll be grand. So when we're talking about trade, we have no trade route with Spain. So let's go ahead and... Oh, I can trade with Portugal. That would be nice. I'm going to go ahead and take that trade route, actually. I'm going to trade with Portugal. It's a valuable trade route. Then I'm going to come into this city and I'm going to buy myself another trader. So remember, trade routes are a bit like getting open borders with people. They give you another tourism boost. So like if I go to, say, the Aztecs here, I believe, and I scroll down and I look at the Aztecs, I'm getting a 50% tourism boost, which means I'm making 800 tourism against them. Whereas compared to Spain, I'm only getting a 25% boost there, so I'm only making about 700. So this is quite a valuable boost. And we are at 72 out of 398. Unfortunately, Menelik's culture just continues to skyrocket, but so too will our ability to generate tourism. At a certain point, your culture runs out of the ability to explode. Okay, there's flight. We got the lighthouse here in Iwan. We don't particularly need the shipyard. We could build the shipyard, like there's no reason not to. It would give us potentially more productive tiles. The big thing we might want to consider in here is finally getting access to getting a neighborhood, and I'll put it on the edge of this territory over here. That'll take 7 turns. It'll give the city more housing, and it'll lead us towards getting potentially shopping malls. Now, we don't actually need anything really from the shopping mall. We just want to get that +4 tourism. We don't need it to be powered. The amenities are nice, but like completely not necessary when you have this level of national parkage. Speaking of Shadeth, so I'm trading with you. I need to trade with Spain, I think, and I shall, because I want that 25% tourism boost. I will pick up this artifact right here. This one is from me. It is a scroll. Let's do a little bit of a look at the theming of our artifacts potentially here. So I believe we are looking for things with the same color but different numbers, and that will get us as close as possible to theming. So we're pretty close to theming some things. And I should consider 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more great works of writing that I can purchase. Let's go in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 great works of writing, filling out these things. I always want to leave this one as a wild card to be able to shuffle things around. We should also consider buying great works of art now. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at the old sculptures. Michelangelo, Donatello. Okay, I'll take a Michelangelo and I will take a Donatello. Then when it comes to landscapes, we got Qiu Ying, El Greco and Hasegawa. So I'll take Qiu Ying, El Greco and Hase. If I come in here to my great work libraries, I turn off theming. Should be able to shuffle these around. There's a themed museum. Beautiful. We're very close to theming this one with sculptures as well. So that's 16 tourism right there to play the little theming mini game. I'm telling you, man, these like little fiddly mechanics, they pay off in a kind of strange way. Oh wow, looks like Ethiopia and Norway are going to war. This is actually really bad for me, because if Ethiopia kills Norway, that makes my game about like quite a bit harder, because how difficult a game is dependent upon the number of players that are in the game at the start and how many people are currently alive and you're able to generate tourism against. So Norway's death here could be really bad for me. It'll make my game harder. by a factor of 1/7 or something. Because instead of having 7 people to generate tourism against, I have 6. And the person who's killing him is the strongest player, who is currently the hardest person to generate tourism against. Like, he's up to 446. He's just generating so much tourism. It's insane. He's running away with the game. He's generating like 4 tourists a turn, which is just kind of nutty to me. So the stadium can potentially generate like 7 plus 5 tourism here. We could go for stadiums. I think I would go for neighborhoods first. Let's get another naturalist in here. So where am I putting my neighborhood? I definitely want it on a +6 tile. Ideally, I think this tile right here. Yep, this is the least offensive tile to put it on, so I'll put it right there. Ooh, I think there's been a little bit of flooding happening. Yeah, the first stage of sea level flooding just happened, which is not good for me because I do not have computers yet and I'm quite a bit away from it. I do have all the traders I need though for the rest of the game. So let's trade with Persia. I just need to get up into Germany. I need to figure out how to get a trade route to Germany. It'll probably be through Portugal. So that's going to be the route that I dig around inside. Can I take a tile in here that I could put a neighborhood on? It's going to be tough to fit a neighborhood into this city. I could kill this tile right here. It's not the end of the world if I do. I think I'd rather have the neighborhood. Spaceports are up for Germany. What's the science victory looking like? Menelik is already on Mars colony. Yeesh. Turn 222. He actually just had such a huge snowball game. Literally, if he had a more normal game, I would be fine. Same with Germany, actually. Germany had like a ridiculous game. He probably already has music censorship. For the sake of it, I will not send him rock bands yet until I have all my national parks. I'd like to get them all up and then do rock bands. I need that groundswell of passive tourism gain. So there's radio. We can start building broadcast centers to get our hands on great works of music. That'd be handy in the not too distant future. Let's grab ourselves a neighborhood in this city too. I think neighborhoods are more immediate with regards to the amount of tourism that they generate. So I like that immediacy. I like something that starts working for me right now. And then I think we only have one more national park. So once I buy this one, it's all in on rock bands time. First neighborhood district is completed. We got another great writer. That's beautiful. I'm going to pop him over to Thebes because Thebes is the one working on that. Neighborhood in Raqqa Death. Let's do a quick switchback to grab the shopping mall. Then we'll go for democracy. Let's go at our broadcast centers. And I would say, I feel like I kept my promise for what this episode was going to be. It was going to be me getting up to a ridiculous tourism number, considering the pace at which we got to that tourism number and the method, like almost entirely preserves. The unfortunate thing is we were just going up against Titanic AI and I'm going to struggle, I think, to win. But we came into this game with the mentality that winning was not important. The important thing was to learn more about the preserve build, and I think there might be a more effective way to do this build that I'd like to explore in the future. I'm going to put 3 envoys immediately into Ayutthaya because I want the huge boosted tourism or culture that will be. That's like 30 culture per turn. I'm being poked by a bunny. Good girl. So I have a trader in Shadeth. Let me check who I'm trading with. I'm trading with Portugal. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 of the civs. There are 7 people to trade with. Sorry, that's 5 civs. So I'm missing who? I'm missing Germany and the Aztecs. Okay, perfect. Because that allows me to very quickly and easily identify where my guy needs to go next. Looks like rock bands from Ethiopia are starting to roll in, which is an interesting place to be. Technically, I'm still winning the culture victory. God, his tourism. His culture is insane. If it was literally anyone else in this game, it would be totally achievable. But like when we're talking about 400 culture per turn on the defense, it becomes very, very hard to win a culture victory. My bunny bun has discovered the bag of food over there, and she is currently stuffing her head into it and chewing away on delicious biscuits. I'm going to let her do that for a minute because she hasn't eaten much today. Another great artist has popped out. I heard a city flip independent or something, I think it was. Or no, that was lowland flooding. Am I immune? Does not receive damage from floods. Am I immune to all types of flooding, including coastal? I don't think so. No, I'm not. So let's have a look at Angelica Kaufman. She is quite good for portraits. So I'll have to look and see if I can purchase any portraits here. Yeah, and I can. Perfect. So I'm going to make a portrait in my capital city and then I'll sell it next turn to the AI for a little bit of cash. Okay, beautiful. We've just unlocked capitalism, giving us access to the shopping mall, which is quite important. I'm going to come over here to Shadeth. I'm going to go ahead and buy a naturalist. That's the last naturalist that we're going to take this game. And now it's all rock bands from here. I also need to purchase myself a trader so that I can maybe try to get a trade route to Germany. I'm also continuing to explore to try and make that a reality. We just got our art museum. So I'm going to bring you over to this art museum and I'll buy 2 great works of art from 2 different people. So I'll buy a Rembrandt and I'll buy a Titian. And when I come in here now and I place another great work of portrait art in here, this will be a themed museum instantly, which will be perfect and beautiful. Speaking of themed museums, any more sculptures going on the go? No, just Donatello and Donatello. And I believe I have a Michelangelo and a Donatello, so not really necessary. I could get a water park here in Swinet, and that does feel like a good move. But let's get to work on that broadcast center nice and slowly. But with the exception of this national park, I feel like I set out to fulfill my promise I made for this episode. We completely transformed our empire into an insane yield monster. We have national parks on damn near every tile. Like, I want to have a look here, right? If I search for Egypt, okay? If I search for Egypt, my empire is 242 tiles. If I search for national park, I get 60 results. Like, discounting the ocean, which is maybe inflating the numbers a little bit here, I would say a solid like third of my empire, maybe half of my empire's workable tiles, maybe actually all of my empire's workable land tiles, like 80% of them are national parks, which is kind of an insane achievement, which is really damn cool. Because I've never done anything like this before, and it's actually somewhat viable. I think with a few tweaks, this build could work. I am, of course, going to play this game out to see if we can make it, but having fulfilled the promise of this episode and showing you off this beautiful, beautiful tile yields, look at these tile yields, man. Oh my goodness, have you ever seen anything like this in your games before? Probably, but my goodness, it never gets old. Just look at this dude. Anyway, that's going to be it for me. That's going to be it for this episode. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.